Hi, my name's Abby, and I'm doing this video on what an effective teacher is. I believe that an effective teacher has many positive characteristics, the first and most important one being dedication. If the students see how dedicated their teacher is, they will feel more like a priority, and they will want to be dedicated in return. If a teacher is slow on handing back graded tests, or slow to give feedback on homework, or just acting like they don't want to be there and that they have more important things to do, then the students will feel the same towards that teacher, not wanting to do homework, not want to participate. And this goes hand in hand with a teacher being positive and energetic. The more positive a teacher is, the more positive the student will be. Um, if you're always bashing your students or making them feel like they're not good enough or giving them negative feedback, then they will less likely want to be involved or want to learn because they feel that they wouldn't be good enough. The more energetic you are, the more your students will be energetic. If you're just sitting at your desk, just talking in a monotone voice, then your students aren't going to feel that you want to be there or that you care enough to teach them. So the more energetic you are, the better. And that also goes with being engaging. If you're engaging with your students, then they're more likely to learn because you're actually asking them questions, or they're working on hands-on things, or they're doing just things as groups so that they're talking and maybe they're learning more things that they wouldn't have if you were just standing there and lecturing. Being engaging allows students to think more and be able to talk with those around them. Being positive and encouraging is important because, like I said with being positive earlier, the more you're positive and encouraging of a student, the more likely they will want to learn. They'll want to succeed, and because you're showing that they can in fact do anything they put their mind to, and the more you're giving positive encouragement, the more likely they're going to want to learn when they walk into your classroom. This also goes with being patient because every student is different, so you may have one student who doesn't learn something as quickly, and you might have one student that learns it the first time you teach it. So you have to work with each student to ensure that they don't get bored, because if you just move on without making sure that everyone understands, then you're going to lose interest because a student might not understand it, so they're just going to stop paying attention to you. Then if you have a student who learned it the first time, they're going to get bored with learning the same thing over and over again. So you have to be patient with those who are slower learners and learn how to adapt and change so that you can catch the attention of everyone. It is important to be compassionate and caring because you want to create a bond with your students, because the more personable you are with them, the more they're going to be encouraged to learn because they feel comfortable in your classroom. I know personally, the more comfortable I am with a teacher, the more likely I am to learn in their classroom, just because I know them, they know me, so it's not awkward and I don't feel embarrassed to ask questions or anything like that. I feel that it's also important to allow your students to think creatively. Don't let them just ask you a question and you be like, oh, here's the answer. Allow them to think of it on their own, or guide them to the answer so that they are able to think creatively about it. It will allow them to know that you're there to help and guide them and not just to give them answers, which I think is important, because if you just give them the answers, they're really not going to be able to think on their own, or they might get to an answer differently if you wouldn't have told them. I feel that all of these characteristics are what make up an effective teacher.